Joseph was the son of Jacob and Rachel, his father's favorite wife. Being the offspring of Jacob's cherished partner, he held a special place in his heart, a privilege his brothers were denied. His siblings had been sired by Jacob's other wives and consorts, a circumstance that bred a complex web of familial relationships. Jacob, the patriarch, unknowingly sowed seeds of envy and discord among his sons by this favoritism. This subtle bias led to an intricate tapestry of emotions within the family, ranging from yearning for approval to simmering resentment. This familial dynamic created tension and jealousy among the brothers. Jacob showed favoritism toward Joseph by giving him a coat of many colors. This gesture, a gift imbued with love, amplified the deep-seated resentment his brothers harbored, pushing their jealousy to the brink. Joseph, a dreamer by nature, was gifted with visions that often depicted him reigning over his siblings. His dreams, symbolic and profound, hinted at a future where his authority would surpass their own. When these nocturnal visions were shared, a spark was lit within the simmering discontent of his brothers, escalating their animosity. Joseph had dreams that seemed to indicate he would have authority over his brothers. When he shared these dreams, it further fueled his brothers' animosity. Jacob dispatched his cherished son, Joseph, on an errand to look after the well-being of his brothers. They were tending to the family's flock in the rich, verdant pastures of Shechem, a place abundant with life and the bleating of sheep. This wasn't an unusual task for Joseph. He was often sent on such missions by his father. However, this particular journey was destined to be different, to stand out in his memory for all the wrong reasons. As the young Joseph drew closer to his destination, his brothers caught sight of him. Even from a distance, they recognized their young dreamer sibling. Anger and resentment began to stir within them. Their hearts pounded with bitter thoughts and malevolent intentions. In the solitude of Shechem, they began to weave a treacherous plot against their own brother. Joseph, unaware of the impending danger, continued to approach, his innocence shrouding the ominous reality. The brothers, fueled by an intense mixture of jealousy and resentment, concocted a scheme to abandon their sibling Joseph in a desolate pit. Their hearts were overrun by aggressive competitiveness, as the familial bond was forgotten amidst their desire for supremacy. An exception among the brothers had a different plan. His intentions were not aligned with his brothers. He wanted to save Joseph from his impending doom. He planned to retrieve Joseph at a later point when the others were unaware. However, destiny had something else in store. While he was absent, his brothers, acting on their impulsive decisions, sold Joseph off to a passing group of traders. These traders were on their regular route, heading towards the distant lands of Egypt. The brothers, in a cruel twist of fate, took hold of Joseph's distinctive coat, a memento that was drenched in the innocence of a son's love for his father. They concocted a vile plot of deception, using the blood of a freshly slain goat as their tool. They took the time to dip the coat carefully in the lifeblood of this innocent creature, staining it a grotesque shade of crimson, symbolic of their betrayal. Then they presented it to their father, Jacob. The sight of the blood-soaked garment, which he himself had gifted to Joseph, instantly shattered Jacob's heart. He was duped into believing that his beloved Joseph had been mauled to death by some savage beast roaming the wilderness. The news hit Jacob like a sledgehammer. His son, his pride, his Joseph was supposedly no more. Jacob, being a doting father, mourned deeply for his beloved son, his heartache echoing through the silence of the desert. In Egypt, Joseph was sold as a slave to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. He arrived in chains, but his spirit remained unbroken. Joseph carried himself with such dignity that he earned Potiphar's respect. Then Potiphar's wife, with her deceptive charm, tried to ensnare him, but Joseph didn't falter. He stayed true to his principles. Unfortunately, his virtue was mistaken for vice, leading to a false accusation. This resulted in Joseph being cast into prison. Yet demeanor didn't change, turning despair into hope. Even in prison, the Lord was with him, and he gained favor with the prison keeper. In prison, Joseph interpreted the dreams of two inmates. These dreams involved the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. Joseph's interpretation of the dreams astoundingly came true. The chief cupbearer, as foretold by Joseph, regained his prestigious position. Meanwhile, Pharaoh experienced dreams which unnerved him. Remembering Joseph's unique ability, the cupbearer recommended him to Pharaoh. Consequently, Joseph found himself standing before Pharaoh, tasked with interpreting his troubling dreams. Joseph, with his extraordinary gift, accurately deciphered them, predicting 7 prosperous years followed by 7 years of famine. Admiring Joseph's wisdom, Pharaoh made a decision that would change the course of Egyptian history. In a grand court ceremony, Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, publicly declared, "Joseph, because of your uncanny foresight and wisdom, I vest in you a position of great power." This was an unprecedented move, as Pharaoh appointed a foreigner to a position second only to his. He gave Joseph the task of overseeing the preparations for a threat that loomed large over the horizon, a devastating famine. Joseph's brothers journeyed to Egypt to purchase grain amidst famine, their brother unrecognized among them. Joseph, spotting them, intended to test their loyalty and honesty. He accused them of espionage, aiming to gauge their relationship with Benjamin, the youngest. He set Benjamin up for theft, to assess whether they'd forsake him, similarly to their past act Joseph. Overcome with profound emotions, Joseph revealed himself, forgiving his brothers and attributing his journey to divine providence. The brothers reconciled, and extending an invitation, Joseph asked his family to make Egypt their new home. Jacob and his family journeyed to the vast, historic lands of Egypt, leaving behind their home, their lives, and their culture to meet the long-lost son and brother, Joseph. The reunion was not just a reunion, it was an occasion of sheer happiness, an emotional resolution of the long-held void, a bountiful celebration of love and togetherness. Joseph was joyfully reunited with his father, their eyes glistening with unshed tears, the bond strengthened with time. The family settled in the fertile lands of Goshen, a place echoing with the resonance of an ancient civilization. They found solace there, amidst the unknown yet familiar surroundings. Goshen was their safe haven, their new homeland. Here Joseph, who had now established himself as a respected figure, took upon the responsibility of his family once again. He ensured that his family was well fed and comfortable, shielding them against the harsh realities of the ongoing famine. Time passed, their bonds grew stronger, their spirits higher. They were content in their new home under the protective shield of their beloved Joseph. Through all the trials and tribulations, Joseph continued to provide for them during the years of famine. The narrative of Joseph, as told in the book of Genesis, is a riveting tale that spans multiple dimensions of human emotion and divine intervention. It's a story that begins with a young dreamer who finds himself at the mercy of his own brother's jealousy. Betrayed and sold into slavery, Joseph's life takes a tragic turn, leading him into an existential abyss. Yet even in the darkest corners of Egypt, Joseph's spirit remains unbroken. His story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. It's a journey that traverses unfathomable trials, all the while revealing God's hand at work, shaping and molding Joseph's destiny. Amidst the Pharaoh's court, in the heart of Egypt, Joseph rises, his dreams undeterred by the cruelty of his brothers or the harsh reality of slavery. The narrative then finds its climax in a profound act of forgiveness, as Joseph chooses to let go of his past, embracing his brothers with love and compassion. Joseph's story is an embodiment of divine providence, a testament to the inexplicable ways in which God weaves our lives together. And so, the narrative of Joseph in Genesis is a powerful story of betrayal, forgiveness, and God's providence. It's a timeless testament to the power of faith and forgiveness and the indomitable spirit of man.